In a small village in Nigeria, there lived a young man named Kolade and a young woman named Fatima. They both worked at the same secondary school, teaching different subjects. Kolade was a science teacher who loved numbers, while Fatima was an English teacher who enjoyed stories. Though they often saw each other at school, their conversations were mostly about schoolwork. As Christmas approached, the village transformed with colorful decorations and the smell of delicious food. Shops filled their windows with gifts and the village buzzed with excitement. Gola decided to go shopping on Saturday to find a special fabric for his grandfather. On that sunny day, Kolad walked into a busy market filled with bright fabrics, handmade crafts, and tasty food stalls. As he browsed, he suddenly heard a familiar voice. "Excuse me, do you know where I can find some good beads?" Fatima asked, standing right next to him. She was holding a little notebook filled with gift ideas. Kolade turned and smiled. "Fatima, I didn't expect to see you here." His heart raced at the sight of her. "I could say the same about you," she laughed, adjusting her headscarf. "What's on your shopping list?" Kolade shared his plans, and Fatima told him she was looking for beautiful beads to make necklaces for her little sisters. "They love shiny things and they'll be so happy, huh?" she said excitedly as they wandered through the stalls together. Kolade noticed how Fatma's eyes lit up whenever she found something she liked. "Look at this!" she exclaimed, pointing to a stall bursting with colorful beads. "Aren't they lovely?" "They are. But I think this one would be even better for your sisters," Kolade suggested, picking up a bright red bead. "It looks just like the rubies in fairy tales." Fatima giggled. "You really know your beads, don't you?" "Only because I pay attention to what my students like." Kolade grinned. After selecting a few items, they began to discuss their families. "I have 2 younger sisters," Fatima said, her voice soft. "They look up to me, especially when I tell them stories." Kolade raised an eyebrow playfully. "You must be their favorite then." "But my students say I'm the coolest teacher," he teased. Fatima laughed out loud, her eyes sparkling. "I bet they just want good grades." "Maybe both. Speaking of food, do you want to grab something to eat?" Kolade felt a brave spark of courage. Fatima nodded eagerly. "Yes, I'd love some jollof rice." They found a small eatery under a large mango tree. When their plates arrived, the delicious aroma made their mouths water. "Wow, this looks amazing," Kolade said as they both dug in. After a while, Fatima turned to Kolade and asked, "So what's your favorite Christmas memory?" Kolade paused, thinking. "When I was a boy, my parents would take my siblings and me to the village square for the Christmas dance. We'd sing and dance all night long." "That sounds magical." "I remember waking up on Christmas morning to see what gifts Santa brought us. We would wake up so early just to open them," Fatima said, her eyes shining with nostalgia. Kolade smiled at her enthusiasm. "You must miss those days," he said gently. "I do," she replied. "But now, I try to create that magic for my sisters." As the sun began to set, Kolade said, "I'm really glad we bumped into each other today. I think we should do this more often." Fatima nodded, a smile spreading across her face. "Definitely. I've had a lot of fun. Do you want to walk around a bit more?" "Sure, let's go check out the crafts," Kola said, thrilled to spend more time with her. They continued to chat and explore. They admired handmade decorations, tried sweet suya from a vendor, and even played a game of who can choose the best gift for their family members. As they walked back toward the market entrance, Fatima teased, "I'll win this game for sure." Kolade laughed. "You'll have to beat my awesome gift idea first." Suddenly, a loud sound broke their laughter. A group of children nearby were singing carols, their voices ringing through the air. Fatima turned to Kola, her eyes wide. "Let's join them." Kola chuckled, surprised. "You want to sing?" "Why not? It's Christmas," she declared, pulling him toward the cheerful crowd. Together they joined in, singing and clapping with the children. Kolad could hardly believe how happy he felt at that moment. With Fatima's hand guiding him through the festivities, he felt the Christmas spirit wrap around them like a warm blanket. Later, under the twinkling stars, Kolade said, "Fatima, I don't think I've enjoyed Christmas as much as I have today." Fatima smiled warmly. "Me too. I'm so glad we met." Feeling brave, Kola asked, "Can I call you tomorrow? Maybe we can plan something for Christmas Day." "I'd love that," Fatima replied, her cheeks turning rosy. As they walked back to their homes, Kolade turned to her and said, "You know, this Christmas feels different. I don't just feel the joy of the season. I feel something special when I'm with you." Fatima's eyes sparkled with surprise. They exchanged phone numbers and promised to meet the next day, both feeling a flutter in their hearts, knowing they had found more than just a friend. Over the next few days, they met often, sharing funny stories, memories, and even helping each other prepare for their Christmas lessons. The more time they spent together, the closer they grew. On Christmas Eve, after a lovely day spent with their families, Kolade took Fatima to a quiet spot where they could see the village lights shining bright. "Fatima," he began, his voice steady but soft, "I just want to say, meeting you has been a wonderful gift. You've brought light into my life. Can we be more than just friends?" Fatima looked up at him, her heart racing. "Kolade, I feel the same way, yes. Let's be more than friends." With stars glittering above them, Kolade gently took her hand. "Then let's celebrate our love, starting this Christmas. You're my favorite person, Fatima." "Thank you, Kolade," Fatima replied, smiling brightly. "This is the best Christmas ever." As they shared their first sweet moment under the stars, both understood that the magic of Christmas had brought them together for a reason. They looked forward to a beautiful future filled with laughter, teaching, and love, creating their very own Christmas story to remember for many years to come. And so, Kolade and Fatima began their journey together, filled with new adventures, stories, and a love that blossomed like the bright lights of the village during the holiday season.